Hello to all my bug catchers, ace trainers, and swimmers out there, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a fun little video talking about if I were to cast gym leaders and champions for a fictional Pokemon region, who would it be? What drag race contestants would I choose to fill in that gap? This is a similar video concept to ones that have been done before on a bunch of different channels. Robbie for Short is a channel and social media person who is a lot of content that essentially exists within this realm of combining Drag Race and Pokemon, and I love doing that as well. I've done a good handful of Drag Race Pokemon simulators that you can watch if you'd like. But this time we're going to be essentially making our gym leaders Elite Four and Champion with some Drag Race contestants. I thought it'd be a cute little fun video to do. And you might be asking, hey, you put out a community post the other day asking what season I should do next for how would I judge video. The winner for that poll was All Stars 4, and that video will be the next video coming on this channel. This video was just being made first, and the All Stars 4 videos takes a little bit of time because I gotta rewatch a whole season of Drag Race. But that will be the next video on this channel. But for now, we're gonna be doing this cute little video here. I have picked a bunch of different Drag Race contestants to represent the types, type specialties that these gym leaders and Elite Four members and champion would be using. And I've also created teams for them that, work with their placement within that gym leader, ranking and within their type that they would be using. So yeah, let us get right on into it. Before we dive into it though, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you enjoy yourself. Only about 25% of my viewers are currently subscribed, so if you were to subscribe, that would be very, very amazing. I said if you were to subscribed, that doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. It would be very much appreciated. Let's get on with the video, shall we? Okay, so our first gym leader in this region is going to be Honey Davenport. Now, I chose Honey Davenport because, one, I really wanted to choose people who had like solid theming surrounding Pokemon types. Like, I didn't just want to like choose a bunch of my favorites and then like shoehorn it, I wanted to choose people who I feel like if I was like, hey, you're gonna be this type of Pokemon trainer, you're gonna have these Pokemon, they'd be like, oh my god, I love it, I wanted to fit their vibe and their aesthetic. And Honey Davenport, I mean, her name is Honey to start off, and she's kind of branded herself with that. And she, for her entrance look, her finale look that she did on Drag Race Season 11, they're both bee themed. So I feel like having Honey Davenport be a bug type gym leader just makes a lot of sense. And also, Honey Davenport she's like a mother. She's many a drag child, and she's a wonderful drag queen. And I feel like to start her off as the first gym leader here, it would be like a nice, cozy entrance point. She would be welcoming and willing to give these new trainers, give them a fair fight and support them. And I feel like that'd be great. I obviously had to choose two, I was about to say two bee Pokemon. Cutie Flight's not a bee, but it is in the similar kind of yellow flying bug vibes. She's gonna have a Combee, and a Cutie Fly here on her team. I feel like those fit the vibe. They're two good Pokemon to start out with. It's the first gym leader, so nothing's gotta be like evolved or anything. I think having Honey here in this position with these two Pokemon is a good launching point. Next up, we have Dakota Schiffer from Drag Race UK. Dakota is a major Pokemon fan. We know that. Her episode 2 look that she did on the runway during the Girl Groups Challenge is directly inspired from Elisa from Pokemon Black and White. And she loves her. She stated that before, I believe, on like Twitter or something. I'll find the tweet or whatever I'm thinking of if I can find it. But for those reasons, we're gonna make her an electric type gym leader. And I wanted to give her team a similar vibe to Elisa's. I didn't want to use like Blitzel or Zebstrika necessarily, just because I'm not the biggest fan of them, but on her Black and White 2 team, Elisa uses a Flaffy, and so I feel like Flaffy would be a pretty good second gym leader ace Pokemon. That just makes sense to me. And then for the first Pokemon, I feel like Pachirisu fits good into the vibe. Pachirisu is kind of like a girly, Patrice is a cool girly, you know? She's a Pikachu clone, and she's got this, like, blue going on here. Oh my god, also, literally, it's blue, white, and pink are the main colors. That's the trans flag colors. I just realized that. That's fun. That wasn't intentional, but hey, love it. Yeah, I feel like this would be a good second gym leader point. Wanted to give Dakota a spot in here because she is a Pokemon fan as well, we know. And this just made the most sense for me to put her here with these Pokemon. I feel like it'd be good. I feel like it'd be fun. Okay, this next set of gym leaders we have here, gym leaders 3, 4, and 5 are all grass, water, and fire trainers. I decided to do this because there were a couple people who I decided and wanted to include that were fitting in these type categories, the grass, specifically the water and the fire trainer. And I was like, that'd be interesting to do a grass, fire, water thing, but I didn't want to do it at the very beginning of this region because that's already been done before. Gen 8 Pokemon Sword and Shield, they started with the grass, fire, water gym leaders. I didn't want to do that, so I decided to put it in the middle here. And our first gym leader is going to be grass type, and it's going to be Rock'em Sakura, which is honestly very funny. Because you see the name Rock, you're like, oh my god, a Rock type gym leader. No, she's grass. She's gonna be a grass type gym leader. Because her name is Sakura, which is the Japanese for cherry blossom. So I thought it'd be very fun to give her the cherry blossom Pokemon as her ace Pokemon, being Cherrim, and build her team as a grass team off of that. I decided to give her Pumpkaboo and Steenie as her other Pokemon. Pumpkaboo, because Pumpkaboo is kind of like creepy and like cool, and I feel like Rock'em can lean into the edgy and creepy when she chooses. That's not like a foreign concept to her, so I thought it'd be fun to include Pumpkaboo here. And then Steenie because these are all drag queens here. I wanted to include Pokemon who were like the girls. Zarina, Steenie's evolution, is the Huntress. She is everything. And so I was like, I want to include a member of her evolution line at some point, whether it's like in like an Elite Four member champion or in a gym leader, whatever. And it made sense for me to put Steenie here because she's one of the girls. So I thought it just made sense, and I really like this team, and putting Brock here and having the like combination of like her name is Rock, but she's a grass type gym leader. I thought it was a fun thing to do overall, so that's why she's here. Next up, we have our water type gym leader, which is going to be Hugatheo Corriente, whose name I never know if I'm saying right, but I'm trying my best. Hugatheo's name is a play on words of the Spanish name for the Krusty Krab from SpongeBob. And so I thought it would be a missed opportunity if I did not make Hugatheo a water type gym leader and give her a Kingler as her ace Pokemon, because Kingler's basically Mr. Krabs, you know? Crawdaunt technically might be closer to Mr. Krabs, but I thought Kingler was a more interesting ace Pokemon choice, because Kingler doesn't get enough love in the Pokemon universe, I feel. And Kingler's cool, so I decided to put Kingler as the ace Pokemon for them. The other two Pokemon I decided to give were Bruxish and Octillery. Bruxish is like drag queen. I mean, look at the lips. Look at everything. Bruxish is just a fun choice, I feel like. And then Octillery is just kind of like a wibbly wobbly creature. And I thought Octillery would be fun here. That's literally the only reason I put Octillery on their team. But yeah, once I remembered that fact when I was looking at literally just me for like a half hour scrolling on the list of every contestant who's ever competed on RuPaul's Drag Race in every franchise, when I remembered that fact, I was like, oh, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. That's fun. So yeah, here we have Hugatheo. Next up we have Scarlet Bobo, who's going to be doing the fire type gym leader. Scarlet Bobo is a fire swallower, which is kind of like half of the reason why she's here. Also, the other half, I just fucking love Scarlet Bobo, and she does not get enough appreciation in the Drag Race fandom. She is everything. I really wanted Scarlet to win Drag Race Canada Season 1. And eventually, whenever I do a How Would I Judge Drag Race Canada Season 1 video, the bitch might be winning. Actually, she probably is winning that video. Sorry for the spoilers, but you know, what, oh well. For her team, she's going to be having two of these like fire spitting Pokemon in Magmar and Heatmore. I decided to make her ace Heatmore because Heatmore, again, I feel like doesn't get enough love. And I thought it'd be a more interesting choice to put as the ace Pokemon. I also decided to give her Scovillain. I gave her Scovillain partially because I was gonna give her Houndoom, but Houndoom is actually gonna go to somebody else later who I thought it fit better for. And then I didn't want to give her Mono Fire team. I wanted to give her a Pokemon that had an additional typing with them, and Scovillain I thought was just a weird choice to pick, and it kind of fit in with the vibe. Like, it can spit fire. It kind of has the word villain in its name, which is fun. Which, like, Scarlet Bobo isn't a villain, I don't feel. At least in my opinion, she's not a villain, or she wasn't portrayed as a villain on the television show RuPaul's Drag Race. But I thought a name that kind of plays into, like, you know, kind of reality TV, like, tropes and archetypes, kind of like having like the villain and the hero kind of thing. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting choice for that reason. So that's why I decided to put Scovillain here as part of her team. Next up, Gym Leader 6 is going to be Hanaconda. Hannah, once I was like, oh my god, Hanaconda, snake, dragon. That was so funny to me. Hanaconda, she would not be a dragon type gym leader in the real world. Or in the Pokemon world, I don't actually think. But the fact that her name is Hanaconda, I was like, oh, I can do a whole kind of serpenty theme here, and that would be so fun and cool. So she's gonna have 4 Pokemon now, because we're getting up there. Gym Leader number 6, we have Dragonair, for the Serpent, for the Blue, for the Womanly. Also, Altaria for the girls. Tatsugiri I thought was a fun option as like a single stage Pokemon. Dragon is an interesting and hard thing to do in certain stages of the game when you're trying to like make it like balanced and stuff. Because like it would be a stupid thing to give her like a Dragonite here, because like it's gym leader number 6. The 6th gym leader isn't gonna have a Dragonite. Maybe the 8th, probably not the 7th, definitely not the 6th. So I couldn't give her too strong of dragons, but I was still wanting to give her dragons. So that's why we choose Dragonair. And Tatsugiri as a single stage Pokemon is, I think, an interesting choice because it's not too overpowered here. And has an interesting typing. The Water Dragon fits in and gives some variety here. I decided to make her Ace Flapple because I thought I also wanted, you know, it's not a serpent, but, you know, but it does have this, like, skinny, not super, like, complicated body. And with the Dragon Grass typing, I thought that would be an interesting addition to the mix here. And I honestly, it kind of is kind of the through line here with a lot of the Pokemon that I chose to be, like, their ace Pokemon, is that I wanted to give Pokemon love that didn't have a lot of love, I feel, or Pokemon that so perfectly fit into like the drag kind of like archetype, or like their specific drag queens like vibe, you know what I mean? So that is why Flapple is going to be your ace. Gym leader number 7 is going to be Kata Minaj. She's going to be a dark type gym leader because she can do the dark and the creepy. And there was a lot of queens who I considered choosing for this spot, but I ended up choosing Kata just because, I mean, you watched my UK versus the World Season 2 videos. You know how much I love Kata Minaj. Her Pokemon are Liepard, Honchkrow, Houndoom, and Malamar. Malamar, I was like, oh, look at Kata and look at Malamar. They are, you know, like when it's like, oh, dogs look like their owners. Malamar and Kata are sisters. They are both serving the same. They both give it to you. And I was like, okay, Malamar's the fucking ace for sure. And then I wanted to give other fun Pokemon to do with the dark type. I gave her Houndoom over instead of giving it to Scarlet because I thought it just kind of made more sense with like the fire. You know, she's kind of also known for like this kind of fieriness. She's literally has like a phoenix rising from the ashes thing going on here in her look that she's being set with on the side here. And then Liepard and Honchkrow are just two solid Dark-type Pokemon that I feel like she would enjoy to kind of fill out the roster here, as like her being a Dark-type gym leader. The 8th and final gym leader here is going to be Detox, who I think I include in every making of a cast of anything video at this point. I think I love Detox more than I know, and I'm going to continue to develop my love for Detox. I just love Detox. Detox can be poison type gym leader because, like, if you're detoxing, you're getting rid of the poisons. that was the whole point. That was the whole point. I really struggled actually with this of trying to like make everything have a point. That was the whole point. Is it kind of the opposite of what it should be, maybe, of her name being Detox and her having poison types? Maybe. But I don't care. This is what's gonna be. Salazzle is her ace, because come on. Salazzle can only be a woman. And I thought it was a fun choice. And then we also have Seviper, Grafaiai, Victreebel, and Crobat. Crobat is just a solid, good poison-type choice that I adore, and I decided to include it for that reason. Grafaiai is the painting Pokemon. I mean, paint your face, Grafaiai paints, we're done. Simple. And then Victreebel and Seviper, just because they're like fun and do lean a little bit more feminine in their designs and were interesting Pokemon, I feel like to add to this roster here. And they all have different typings, all these Pokemon. We got a poison type, poison normal, grass poison, poison flying, and poison fire. And that was also important to me to have a good amount of type variety within the gym leaders and Elite Four members if I could. So that is what I gave for this team, and we're going to be moving on to the Elite Four members. Now for the Elite Four, I thought it only made sense to make it so that every member of the Elite Four was a drag race winner. That just made sense to me. Like, they're in the Elite Four for a reason, because they're good enough to be there. They have won. They should be drag race winners. Why not? So our first winner is going to be Isis Couture. Her ace Pokemon is Jinx, because duh. And then her other Pokemon are Aurorus, Cloyster, Weavile, and Frosmoth. I settled on these 4 other Pokemon due to the type variety. We got a part rock, water, bug, and dark type. And also because they mostly generally lean more feminine. Cloyster doesn't really. Obviously there's like the joke of like Cloyster like looking like a vagina. That wasn't what I was initially going for with this. But when I was looking at the Pokemon, like the ice type Pokemon that I could choose from left, I was like, I want a water ice type. Cloyster probably makes the most sense with this team, just generally, so I'm just gonna put it there as well. But yeah, Isis Couture, she has the word ice in her name. Do I need to explain further? I don't think I do. Okay, next up in our Elite Four is going to be Miss Nymphia Wind. Pay no attention to her crunchy picture in the corner. The photo editing service that I was using to edit out the backgrounds of all these pictures really struggled with the Nymphias, and so that's as good as I got in about 15 minutes of fucking with things, so pay no mind to it. Nymphia is here because her name, Nymphia, is literally the Japanese name for Sylveon. That's what her name was inspired by. So she's got to be here with a Sylveon as a fairy-type trainer. Like, duh, why wouldn't I do that? So her ace Pokemon is Sylveon, and I decided to give her a good other mix of fairies as well. Aromatisse is another plain fairy type. Is so drag. A literally show and leg. Like, love it. I had to include it. I wanted some kind of like other like creepier, more like ruthless creatures, and that's why I included Tinkaton and Grimmsnarl here to kind of, you know, add some variety. And then Togekiss is just a very solid fairy type option. Is very cute. I love a good Togekiss. So yeah, Nymphia was a lock from the jump. So yeah, this is going to be Nymphia's team. And we're going to move on to our third Elite Four member. And that is going to be Kiona. Kiona is an icon. She's a legend. She's a ballroom legend. And I wanted to give somebody the fighting type because I wanted to give them some of these Pokemon that are known for their like dancing, like Hitmontop and Quaquaval. And I thought if I were to give it to anybody, Kiona seemed like the most fitting. I mean, she's known for her skills in ballroom and voguing, and all the different categories that she does. So it just really made sense to me. Himantop and Quackleval are in this team for those dancing reasons. Himantop is partially based on the martial art capoeira, which is, I believe, Brazilian. And it's kind of like it's a martial art, but it has these like dancerly elements that are like a solid part of it. And so Himantop was like a lock for me. Also, Himantop is just one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. So any excuse to include Himantop in something is something I'm going to do. Quackleval is a dancer. Is the gay man Pokemon in my opinion. So I knew Quackleval had to be included, and I decided to include him on Kiona's team here. I included Gallade and Mienshao because they both give off kind of dancerly vibes. I thought Mienshao was a fun choice. Doesn't get talked about enough in terms of Pokemon. Gallade is very fun. Adding a psychic type to this team I thought was interesting. And then Machamp is a big beefy man that's going to carry Kiona around if she wants. As it does in Sun and Moon. It carries the protagonist around. So yeah, that's going to be Kiona's team. And our final Elite Four member, I mean, I had to do the crowned Queen of all Queens, Jinx Monsoon. That was my Jinx impression. Was that good? It wasn't good. I'm actually trying to do a Jinx impression right now. Hi, I'm Jinx Monsoon. No, I kind of went Midwest. I'm gonna stop now. Jinx, I decided to make a ghost type trainer, because she's kind of witchy. In her acceptance speech for All Star 7, she like claims the crown in the name of Hecate, mother of witches. Like, she has these different like witchy things that she draws from. And so I thought ghost type fit well with her. I decided to give Miss Magius as her lead because Miss Magius, if you're going to look at all the Pokemon and say which one is most witch-like, I would say Miss Magius is the most witch-like Pokemon. It just made sense to me. And then I decided to give her a good variety of ghost types here. Chandelure with the, it's literally chandelier. It has this kind of like knick-knack kind of, it's like an old decor thing. I feel like that she would enjoy. Jellicent, female Jellicent, and Frostlass, they both give off this kind of like opera vibe in different ways that, kind of fits it with Jinx, and, she's a musical, she's a theater actor. And then Mimikyu is just, Mimikyu's cool as shit. It's got a drawn-on face, like drag queens do. It is just a good fucking ghost type Pokemon. So I thought it only made sense to include Mimikyu here. And then our champion of this region, it's gotta be RuPaul. Duh. I thought it would be stupid if I didn't make RuPaul the champion of this region. I had a really hard time giving RuPaul a team because I didn't want to give her a type specialty because that felt weird. Because I don't like when Pokemon champions have type specialties. It feels limiting. Like, they're the champion. They should be allowed to use whoever the fuck they want. They should be allowed to have a large ranging of types. So the fact that some champions don't was weird to me. So I was like, I'm going to give her a pretty type diverse team. And there's only one type shared on her team. There's 2 fairy types on this team. But I decided to give her just a lot of Pokemon that I thought served cunt. That's kind of like what I was trying to go for. I was trying to go with like fierce Pokemon whose pre-evolutions or Pokemon just in general that weren't used before. Like, I didn't want to give her like Zarina because I'd given Rock'em Steenie as one of her Pokemon earlier. Like, I didn't want to give her Zarina, and I didn't want to do any evolutions Pokemon that are even done earlier that I thought would be cool. I just wanted to get a good variety of these like Glamazon kind of Pokemon in a way. So Florges I thought really fit. She's very drag. I thought she'd be a good lead Pokemon here. Bombardier has like a little outfit on, and it's a fun dark flying type, which is one of the more forgotten Pokemon, I'd say, from Gen 9. Kingdra is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, has the word king in the name. I thought it'd be fun to include Kingdra here. Roserade is a woman. She's everything. She's on Cynthia's team. And Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. I thought Roserade was a fun option here. Volcarona is also an iconic Pokemon. I also wanted, once I had included Kingdra and Roserade, I wanted Grass, Fire, Water core on this team. I thought that'd be fun to do. And looking at the fire types, I was like, oh, Volcarona is a lock. Volcarona just makes the most sense as a fire type Pokemon here, so Volcarona's here. And then Gardevoir is the ace Pokemon of Diantha in Pokemon X and Y. But I decided to make Gardevoir RuPaul's ace. I wanted one of these, like, stereotypically female-presenting Pokemon to be the champion, you know, the champion's ace, to be the Pokemon. And Gardevoir is, I mean, it's one of the most iconic Pokemon of all time. I feel like there could have been other different options that I could have chose here, but Gardevoir, even though it's like an easy choice, that's kind of also a plus for it. It's an easy choice. It makes sense. It's Gardevoir. So I thought it really just fit the bill the most here to put as the ace Pokemon on Rue's team. And that is what it's going to be. And that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. If you want to see me do more videos in this vein, please let me know. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. I will also leave my Twitter in the description if you want to go follow me on there. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, take care. Bye-bye.